Okay, now I'm super excited for this video because we're going to be going over an advanced card strategy, one of the newer YouTube features, and then sharing a few power tips to just help you get better results on YouTube overall and have better watch time and impact with your videos. And so we talked about in the last video what cards are. And one of the big questions you might have is where should you actually put them in your videos? It makes sense at the end when I say, I always want to get people on our email list. So I'll say, if you haven't downloaded the Think Media TV Video Gear Buyer's Guide, there's a link in the description, or you can also click the YouTube card. So I actually use the language in my videos to give a call to action to that. But there's another really cool way to use cards to optimize your older videos. And so we talked about how to set them up. Go to your Creator Studio, pick a video, get to the card section, and then you can put them anywhere you want throughout your video, up to 5. And so this strategy is probably going to only be relevant if you already have like 15 videos or more. You could do this at any stage, but you do need a little bit of data in your YouTube analytics, as well as it's nice to do it in a batch once you have some videos. And so if you already have 15 or more videos, or you've been on YouTube for a while, this is a great strategy. And so what you can do is go into your Creator Studio, go to your analytics, and go to audience retention. Then what you do is you want to actually pick a video. And if you were just trying to decide which videos to pick, I recommend starting with your top 10. So when you go into your Creator Studio and you go to analytics, YouTube will tell you what your top 10 highest performing videos are in the last 30 days. And it might not be your newest videos, right? It could be some popular videos from for you over the last however long you've been on YouTube. And then once you get inside of your audience retention, what you'll see is you'll see the decline. It's pretty typical for most videos. And if you're, staying really, really high on your audience retention, that's great. But don't be discouraged if it seems like a lot of people are bailing on your videos. You could see that this is, it's not super encouraging that by the end of the, by 6 minutes, only maybe 8 or 10% of people are still there. And so you can see this decline. But what you can also see here is there's these drops at certain places. Like it just drops here, it drops there, drops there, drops there. And those drops are, for whatever reason, people are getting to a point in the video, maybe getting the information and then deciding to drop off. And so what you want to do is look for the drops for this advanced card strategy. And then what you want to do, and we can see them here, 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 and here. And what I do is I actually use a pen and paper just because I haven't really found a better system. So I would write down 52 seconds, 236, 328, 420, whatever. And then what you want to actually do is you want to put cards a few seconds before the drop. Because what you know is that people are watching this, maybe getting information, but then something, for whatever reason, and this video actually has tons of views. So it kind of is a good picture of whatever, human behavior, psychology. Maybe they, for whatever reason, at this point, people are deciding to leave the video, which is pushing the audience retention down. Where the opportunity lies is if you know that people are going to bail at 52 seconds and you give them a card at 49 seconds, you have a chance of maintaining that viewer and keeping them on your channel, even if you don't keep them on your video. That pop out of the YouTube card in the upper right hand corner could be something they see, they click on, and now they're still in your world, which is a great thing. So what you can do is you can add cards to your old videos, but I recommend starting with the top 10. Those are the ones I focus on. I don't try to go back and do this to every video in my library, but I do want to make sure that the top 10 in your analytics are optimized. The next thing is write down the time code of when the views are dropping off. So if it's a minute 30, you could write down a minute 30 and either remember that you need to do a few seconds before. Because again, a minute 30, they're already leaving. So maybe a minute 25, a few seconds before. So either write down the exact time code and then go a few seconds earlier, or write down the time code minus a few seconds so that you can add the cards there. And then what you want to do is you want to add relevant cards a few seconds before the audience retention goes down. Key being relevant is that if they were watching how to get free stuff on Amazon, then they might be interested in another Amazon Prime video or something, but they may not be interested in how to optimize your YouTube channel. Two totally different things. So as much as possible, try to stack a relevant card that the viewer of that video would be interested in, and then that will have the best chance of actually getting clicked. And then your goal is to do this about once per quarter. Look at your top 10 and then optimize your old videos, and you can actually look at the analytics of your cards, and this will help boost your channel's watch time overall and keep people on your channel longer. And a couple power tips that I want to share with you here while we're on the topic of analytics and of using audience retention and things like that is to study why your audience dropped off and then change your content based on what you learn. So the card strategy is to help you get a little bit better results out of a video that's already out and that has these dips in the audience retention. But I also recommend while you're doing this is to ask yourself, why did people drop off there? And what could I change in the future based on what I learn? And so here's a video, and you can see it has this kind of up and down audience retention. And one example, and we talked about this already as we were talking about the end cards, is right here is the question of the day, or right here is as I began to land the plane, and people know that. And notice how quick, this is kind of just a general drop, but then it's like, all right, he's ending, I'm out. And think about your own behavior. I'm sure you do the same thing. So one tip that I've learned from studying my audience retention is to notice that people start leaving when they know you are ending. So what are some strategies that you could do? Well, maybe don't use the same language all the time to let people know you're ending. And another thing is to end quickly with the new end cards. And that way, don't just delay and talk about a million things. End quick and try to get people onto another one of your videos quick, keeping people on your channel and building your watch time, or getting people headed over to an opt-in, build your email list, or whatever it is your goals are. Now, here's another one that I learned and that you can apply as well. I learned on this video with all kinds of up and down watch time that at all of these spikes where there's these weird drops I noticed that people leave when my face leaves the screen. And so when I looked at this, I said, oh, well, we showed a screenshot of Amazon right here, and it was no longer me making eye contact with the lens and making eye contact with the audience. People leave when my face leaves the screen. So then our solution was to keep me on the screen and do a split screen of the website that we want to show. And so the solution is a split screen so that eye contact doesn't stop. And what's very interesting is notice how it affected the audience retention. It was no longer up and down with dramatic drops, but it just had a normal kind of decline of attrition, because people in general might be like, all right, I get the point. They get bored. They move on to another video. It's a long video too. It's a 19-minute video. And so most people are only 1 out of 2 people are watching it 4 minutes. By minute 10, we're about 40%, but pretty actually healthy considering the content, but really helpful to do the split screen. So the question is, what can you learn from studying your audience retention as well as your other analytics, and then make adjustments so that your videos can get better results? So I hope those tips were helpful. So those are some of the new things that I'm doing here in VRA 2.0 and that we're using right now in our business and building our brand online. So definitely take advantage of YouTube cards and YouTube end screens, and I will see you in the next video.